Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Sports. Breaking news: Newlands could be set to be sold under an auction after Dreamworld Investments, who the Stormers owe a sum of 250 million rand to, have called up their bonds for Newlands Stadium. So basically, the Western Province Rugby Football Union has been in administration for a long time due to the irregular spending and the massive debts they have accrued. And Newlands has been sitting in Cape Town, basically gathering dust for the last few years because it was part of an estate offered by the WPRFU to Dreamworld Investments as security. Now, Dreamworld Investments, according to Rugby 365, have officially called up the bonds, which means that the property could go under the hammer and be auctioned off for the highest bidder. The administrator of WPRFU, Peter Eustace, said that they were hoping to sell the stadium to a prospective buyer, and saying that since I was appointed administrator, we have worked diligently to prevent the foreclosure of Dreamworld. It says that they have secured a buyer who has completed their due diligence and are currently finalizing the legal and contractual aspects of the proposed transaction. However, if this doesn't happen, then we could very well see Newlands go up for auction, which would be interesting to see who goes and tries to buy the iconic stadium and what they will do with it. Before we get into it, please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. So, I mean, Newlands has been basically empty for about 4 or 5 years now, and it's a problem for Western Province because they're just, I mean, to put in perspective, the 250 million rand it owed to Dreamworld Investments, they had borrowed 112 million rand under Zalt Marais, the president, to settle debts with Remgro and Investec. And now Dreamworld Investments have come and said, listen, it's time for the money, basically. And the important thing is they had put Newlands up as security. So they hadn't sold Newlands. They hadn't sold Newlands to Dreamworld, for example. They had just used security to basically say, this is the money. This is what we've got as security. We're going to try and pay you back money, the likes of that. But now, basically, they're saying it's taking too long to try and sell Newlands, the likes of that. And they've called it the bonds, which means that they can basically take over Newlands and sell it for what they are owed. So it's going to be an interesting sort of situation. At the end of the day, personally, I'd love to see this just basically being done. At the moment, it's very sad to see the stadium gather dust and look as bad as it currently does. It would be far better for me if it can just get sold and be repurposed into whatever it's going to become. People talking about the fact it's likely to become an office block, for example, or potentially flats or accommodation, the likes of that. The main thing is it's probably not going to become a stadium. We're not going to see Newlands again. And, if you take away the sentiment, it kind of makes sense. You've got the DHL Stadium, which is a world-class stadium. You don't need to have a DHL Stadium as well as the Newlands, for example. DHL Stadium's newer, it's bigger, it's in a better place. It's accessible. I've had some really, really good people talk about, or good experiences being shared with me about Newlands. About the Cape Town Stadium. I'm going to be experiencing in a few weeks' time as well. So at the moment, it's like, Newlands kind of sits as that sort of hallmark of where Western Province Rugby went wrong. And it's currently almost like a bit of a statue, representing the failures of the previous administration. The Stormers want to try and draw a line under the sand, and at the moment, apparently the debt, for example, that they've got doesn't actually affect the way the Stormers are currently sort of operating, the likes of that, and it's all very different. But it's a cloud over their head. And, we really ideally need to get the Stormers out of administration and, settle up all the debts, make them more financially stable. And selling Newlands is a part of that. And the big thing, I think, is whilst it might not directly relate to on-field performance, it's there. It's always sort of hanging around the administrators. It's always hanging around your sort of business decisions. And it's just taking up unnecessary resource to try and sort it out. So the big thing that we need to see is something like this gets settled. Whatever happens to Newlands. And Western Province can actually start moving forward, and focus on the main thing, which is being solvent and being financially very strong and being able to then focus on the rugby aspects of things and to really try and move forward, get back to, challenging for the URC, challenging for the Champions Cup, building their women's programs, building their youth development. And we all know that the Western Cape is a rugby powerhouse. So it was so frustrating that a rugby powerhouse has been under so much financial strain and financial issues over the how many years that we've seen it. But the big thing I think now is to just try and really get us themselves through that. And so in terms of the process, they said that the Dreamworld representative have been coming forward throughout the entire thing. and they're fully aware that there is an offer under consideration. So, you know, they're basically saying that we are very close to finding an agreement, and it will be a significant setback if we are unable to complete this deal. But at the same time, if Dreamworld aren't happy and they sit there saying, actually, no, we've had enough of all these empty promises, it's time, then there's actually probably not a lot that the Western Province Rugby Football Union can actually do. Should it be sold? Should it be repurposed? Would you like to see Newlands operate once again? I don't think we ever will. But, I mean, do you think there's a point in trying to rejuvenate Newlands back into a stadium, maybe a multi-purpose stadium? You know, you kind of put office blocks onto it, and that's what we've seen a lot overseas, is stadiums which have got different purposes and that have offices in it, for example, or commercial space and the likes of that, so it becomes commercially viable rather than just an empty stadium that only gets filled, you know, once every 2 weeks type of thing. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.